it's funny you mentioned yesterday, actually, Amy, because I had a dream about you last night.
Oh, do we want to discuss this?
It involved LARPing and drugs.
LARPing and drugs.
Yeah, that's about all I remember.
We are recording.
That was
anybody responds to anything. We are recording.
That was a Bernard Breslau joke in one of the hospital-based Carry On films, where the nurse is coming around in the morning. She says, "I had a dream about you last night, nurse." She says, "Did you?" She says, "No, you wouldn't let me."
I don't quite get that one, but there we go.
Neither did he.
Fair enough. All right. Well, and as happens every single time, the second we start recording, we all get stage fright. We all stop talking.
No, I want to know about that. I'm waiting to hear about this LARPing and drugs dream.
I don't remember the specifics, but I know that there was a big box of hash brownies involved. That's about it. That's
Okay,
about all.
no, I'm more interested in the LARPing, if I'm perfectly honest.
Again, I don't.
I'm more interested in the
I
brownies.
don't remember my dreams. yeah. I don't remember the specifics of my dreams often, but yeah, I remember it involved some kind of LARPing. I was hitting someone with a foam sword. Amy appeared. The whole group ended up eating way too many hash brownies, and then we had to hide the hash brownies. And we failed in doing so. I don't really know what happened, but it was interesting.
Are you sure that's a dream?
I mean, maybe not. Maybe Amy just broke into my flat and left brownies everywhere. I don't know.
I think you're thinking ahead to a few episodes' time.
Hang on a second.
I'm going to end up having a dream tonight about Neil cleaning down the walls in a gay sauna.
And handing out towels. So I think you need a fresh one, sir.
I have to say, I mean, add an element of realism in this. The stories I've heard, they don't clean down the walls in saunas.
Well,
what kind of stories have you heard, Stu? That's the question.
I mean, I'd hope they do now.
Yeah, I'd imagine I'd like to think that in a post-COVID world, saunas would get cleaned. Regardless, I would love to go to a sauna right about now. Just sweat out all my... Yeah, I love a sauna.
Well, yeah, Neil can recommend one.
At Waterloo. Apparently, it only costs a tenner to get in, or thereabouts, and it's open 24 hours. Some people apparently stay there for days on end.
Okay. That's
sponsor us, Pleasure Dome.
To clarify, I'm not after a gay sauna. I would just like a regular sauna in general.
Well, I mean,
nice.
I suppose it's only a gay sauna if you engage in any kind of gay activity.
I suppose in that sense, any sauna could be a gay sauna if you try hard enough.
Anything you do could be gay if you try hard enough. I'm on the gay bus to work.
Yeah, right.
What's gay about it? I'm giving this guy a hand up.
And that was the end of Tales from the 27th. Never heard from again in the podcasting world.
I don't see what's wrong with that. It's perfectly true. Anything can be a gay anything if you try hard enough. If you really want it to be.
My best friend, one of my best friends, is gay. I have a gay friend. Some of the stuff he comes out with is... That was tame, and that was a tame joke about handjobs on a bus. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, no.
Well, anyway, folks, welcome back to Tales from the 20 Side, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition Let's Play podcast. My name is Dom, and I'm your GM for this game and for many others, and I'm joined by Stu.
Hi.
I'm joined by Neil.
Hi.
I'm joined by Darren.
Hello.
And I'm joined by Amy.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. So, how's everyone's week's been? What you all been up to?
Working and sleeping.
Yeah.
Gay saunas.
Cleaning down gay
In
saunas.
between.
No. The gay sauna is covered by working, Neil.
Is it? Because I mean, it was always an option, wasn't it? If you're at Waterloo and you missed the last train home out to the suburbs or whatever, rather than to wait around the station for hours on end, gay sauna.
I can just see Stu just shrinking back into his chair as Neil starts to
Wondering
speak.
where the hell this is going.
We're cutting all this, right? Like, this is all getting cut.
Probably not. I'm notorious for not cutting stuff. Even if I say, "Oh, I'll cut that later." I won't.
Yeah,
And you could even maybe get a job for the night as a towel boy.
And now we're back to the point where I finally joined the call, and I still don't really have a clue what's going on.
Right.
Oh dear.
So if you hand people the towel, and it's a job, I'm just going to leave that one go. Dom knows where I was going with that.
I mean, you don't have to follow people around anticipating when they're going to need a fresh towel. Oh, he looks like he's up to something that's going to soil his towel. I better get a fresh one. You just stand behind the counter and give them out, apparently.
No, Neil, would it be known as the hand job? If it's a job and you're handing them hand job.
I think Amy is.
Dom got it.
Amy is my spirit animal right now. She's just despairing at all of this. Right.
Dom got it. Dom got
Right.
the hand job.
Right, whoa, let's not start spreading those kind of rumours around, Stu. There we go. All right.
So my beat's been fine. How's everyone?
Thank you, Amy.
How are we
Thank
doing?
you for answering the
Are we
question.
doing good? Yeah.
Yeah, doing all right.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
It's all things are all a bit weird at work at the moment. Lots of people are very angry at lots of other people. The boilers are fucked. So we're closed.
Still,
yeah, it's not
could have installed a new one in this time.
it's not a quick fix,
Probably
dude.
not.
takes a while to do these things.
Boilers
Especially-
suck.
Boilers do suck, but I tell you what sucks even more is contractors. Contractors are the worst because
Boiler contractors.
boiler
Double
contractors,
whammy.
double whammy. It's a minefield. I hate it.
But they don't literally suck. I mean, if you want that, you've got to go down the pleasure drive. Waterloo.
We can't get away.
Alaska Road.
Neil, I've got to ask: is everything all right at home? Are you trying to tell us something?
Yeah, I just seem to be stuck on this kind of thing. 'Cause I just-
You're fixated.
I'm fixated suddenly, all of a sudden, yeah.
You can't get this
I can't get past it.
pleasure drone out of your head.
I think maybe we need to just pay for Neil to have a little weekend away. Just get it out of
I
the system.
think Neil pays us or Janet gets a copy of this podcast.
That's it. Here on Tales from 25, we are not above blackmailing our cast members.
I'll keep that in mind.
A cast member.
Neil, what's this pleasure
specific
drone thing
cast
on
member.
the credit card statement?
Should we jump back into it, everyone?
Yes.
Yes,
For the
yes.
love of God, please.
Yes, jumping back into a place where there are, as yet, no gay saunas that at least you know of. Moving back into our game, our adventurers, Alwyn Templeton, Brother Amos, Otto von Niederschläger, and Della Thornbury have spent the last few days in the city of Whitethrone, where they are on the trail of Baba Yaga's dancing hut. They've had to kind of do some. They've had to take some time to themselves since arriving in the city proper, and in helping out Solvig Airdal, the leader of the Heralds of Summer's Return, and a new ally of the group. They've been seeking a missing cell of his followers, who the party now believe are being held in the windmill known as the Old Bone Grinder, on the outskirts of Whitethrone. The party have spent some time. They've done a bit of shopping. They've upgraded some gear. They've met a few new people. Had a little fight in the arena. Earned some money. Lost some money. And in the case of Brother Amos, even had romantic involvement with people within the city of Whitethrone. And so now the four of you kind of coming back together once again. It's a new day in the shrine of the Everbloom beneath a section of the city, and kind of you've just kind of all reconvened. You've gathered you've collected your various purchases from Norska the blacksmith and other things, and it's kind of over to you. What do you guys want to do now?
Well, I've got a tour booked this morning.
Yes.
So is a new day is dawning, isn't it? We've just woken up.
You've been up for a short while. You did leave the shrine. Sorry, I misspoke a second ago. You did leave the shrine of the Everbloom in order to go and collect your things.
Yes, we went to the weapons place, didn't we?
I'm not fully awake yet.
And exactly, the very last thing we did as we finished last time is you were making your way out of the city toward the Bone Grinder itself.
Yeah, we are on our way.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you guys want to do?
So, Well, I spoke to the guard on my own, didn't I? You guys hid.
Brother Amos was with you when you spoke to him.
Oh, yes. Okay, cool. So we can go for sure. Is it a good idea if you two came with us?
You said to me just this morning, when I asked the question, I said, how are we all going to get in? You said, it's fine, I've got a tour for all of you. Now you're changing your mind on it. What's going on?
I don't remember. So let's come up with a plan.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can walk up, all four of us, and you say, yes, these are my friends. And
oh, yes. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine.
This is my friend and his slave.
Yes. I'm sure that will be okay.
Yes. Because
Yeah.
obviously Amos is here as your slave, and Otto's here as my slave. Yes. So,
Cool.
here's my friend and his slave. Come for our tour. I'm still not convinced it's not a date, you know.
I didn't get that impression.
Okay. I mean, would you know what to look for?
I mean, I can't really even remember their name, so probably not.
I can tell you that Otto has had many dates where he can't remember their names.
And many dates where they don't remember my name.
Yes, eminently
Yes,
forgettable,
yes.
I'm sure.
Because sometimes for foreplay, really all you want to do is stun them with a sharp blow to the head.
Okay, if you say so. Sorry, didn't mean to jump on that.
No, kind of glad you did. Got to be. Voice of God is telling us that that's a really bad idea, and I agree.
Amy, so just for your benefit, because although it's been a while since we were last in that area, for Della it was literally last night that you were talking to her. So I think it's safe to say that she would remember the name of the person she was talking to. The name of the guard that she slipped a coin to was Malin Araska.
Malin.
Oh, I have that written down.
Araska.
Yep,
I
along with
have
her.
that name
down
written
before.
down and no other information surrounding it.
Nice. Along with
Important information.
along with her brother Galen Araska.
Malin and Galen.
ask.
Malin is female.
Did Della specify? I don't remember Della specifying. Just said the guard.
I know their names, I guess. So yeah, I feel a bit more confident that this meeting will go a bit better now.
Has Brother Amos rejoined us?
Yes, he has.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
Ah, yes.
you are all back together again.
Yeah.
So
how was your evening?
How was your evening? Yes.
I didn't catch that.
How was your evening?
Interesting. I think.
And are these wolf women like other women? And if not, what was it like?
It's all a bit fuzzy.
Is there a bar near here?
You can go and find a bar if you want to. You
Oh,
just
it's
kind of
like-
got to the edge of the city.
No, you
Okay.
you want to go cruising?
Alwyn goes into his backpack and pulls out a crowbar and offers it.
I will roll my eyes.
Oh, I thought you wanted something to beat them over the head with. Okay.
Oh, fair. Fair. I thought you were just making a terrible pun.
That too.
Yeah.
There's no other kind.
So yeah. So what is your plan, folks? You've kind of left the city at this point. You had a cursory check of your papers from the gate guards as you were heading out back into the wilderness. You can see the bone grinder is a ways ahead of you on kind of on the right hand side, and you can see that there is kind of a steady stream of people, sort of going to and to, going between it and the gates of the city.
I guess we just join the throng. We probably.
There are lots of people going there, but are there any coming back? That is my concern.
It is
Oh, yeah,
called
the-
Bone
there-
Grinder.
Yes.
There are people coming back. You see kind of looks to be sort of poorer folk, poorer humans, that sort of thing. Seem to be coming back from the windmill with sort of small sacks of what someone as they're walking past you drops a bag, and a bit of it spills out, and you see that it's containing flour or perhaps meal of some kind.
Or ground bones.
Most likely.
I have a completely and utterly unrelated question. Otto.
Yes.
Yes, I've been wearing this ring for quite some time. I'm fairly sure it's magical. Can you take a look at it? And
Let me check.
I'll take the ring off and hand it to.
So, two things. Alwyn, as you produce this ring from your pocket, everybody notices this. The finger that the ring is attached to is almost blackened and withered. You're not entirely sure. You're not entirely sure how you haven't noticed it before now. But that finger has been almost necrotized without you realizing. And the second thing that happens, Alwyn, as you try to take the ring off, it won't come off.
I should have taken my gloves off more often.
That
I
is
want to get
not
that looked
normal.
at, mate.
I do. It's a good job I know a good healer. Can I do a medicine check on myself, please?
What are you trying to do?
I want to ascertain. Is this caused by a lack of blood flow? Is the ring constricting blood flow and causing the problem? Or is it something else?
Make a medicine check, Alwyn, as you kind of inspect it. Alwyn, sorry.
That's a 12 for 24.
24, very nice. So, Alwyn, as you kind of inspect this finger, it's weird. The finger itself still has all the feeling and all the motion that it should have. Like, you can still move it. If you touch it, you can still kind of feel. You can feel sensation through it. It's just that the skin itself has been blackened, and it's lost kind of a lot of its fullness on the finger. Kind of as you inspect the finger more closely, you see that the ring itself appears to have sunk barbs into the flesh of the finger.
I don't think you need my magical powers to know that there's something not quite right.
I think I do need your magical powers. Can you not sort of undo it with your magic?
I could do it
Burn it
dispel
off.
magic. I mean, I don't think. I think the stage of detecting magic is a bit past. I'm actually sure I check whether it is magic, because it might just be a simple. It might just be a very intricate booby trap.
Yeah.
So,
do you want to cast detect magic?
How do I do that?
I believe you just say I'm casting detect magic.
I cast detect magic. Yeah.
So Otto, as you cast detect magic, the ring is definitely magical, and you have actually checked this ring previously. Sort of when you all first came across it, you detected magic on it, and you ascertained, Otto, that this was a ring of regeneration. However, much later on, for whatever reason, this ring still has the same magical aura as it did previously, but there is a darker presence attached to the aura. You get the sense that this is probably a cursed ring, Otto.
Your ring is cursed. Shall I try to dispel magic?
You can certainly try.
That would be nice, thank you.
I'll see what I can do.
Maybe as powerfully as you possibly can.
So that's not painful.
Not really, no.
It looks like it should be
weird.
painful.
Oh, and so prods his finger. No, it's all right. I mean, it doesn't look very nice. Bit withered,
Can I touch it?
black. Yes, you can touch my finger. You can
Don't
pull
pull
my
it.
finger.
No.
Can I pull it?
It looks like it would just fall off.
Alwyn farts.
It's cursed.
No, it's look. It moves. It's fine.
It emits a foul odor.
So I will dispel. I'll cast the dispel magic spell.
Sure. Okay. So in that case, Otto, what level are you casting at?
What's the highest level I can cast at? It doesn't seem to say here.
The highest level spell slot you have is 3rd at the moment.
I'll go for 3rd then.
Cast 3rd. Okay. So mark off a third level spell slots, and then just make a spell attack for me, Otto. So roll a d20 and add your spell attack modifier.
Spell attack modifier. 28.
28. Otto, as you cast your magic, you sort of focus your energies onto this magical aura, and particularly onto the darkness itself, and you start unpicking it as you would with a needle and thread on kind of a particularly badly sewn patch of cloth, that kind of thing. And it seems like it's going quite well. And then just as you get to a point where you feel like you've completely separated that darkness from the rest of the aura, or from Alwyn himself, you feel almost like some kind of psychic feedback just inside your own skull, and essentially the aura of this ring pushes you away. With that roll, Otto, you will understand that it is not possible to use dispel magic to remove this this effect. You need
I have bad news for you.
You either need more powerful magic, or you need more specialized magic.
Which finger is it on?
It's on my third finger of my right hand.
Do you really need that finger?
Yes.
I mean, you couldn't get by without it.
My sword hand. I don't really want to go chopping my finger off. And look, it's not. I've been wearing this thing for weeks now.
Well, I can see.
I mean, all right, it doesn't look very nice, but if you've seen the things I've seen, and I've seen some things, seen
I think
worse.
it'll spread.
Where did you see that? Was it in a sauna?
In my past, in my nightmares, every time I close my eyes. But that's a story for another time. Yes. Let's Okay, well, thank you for trying. Yes. I'll try and get that off.
So a couple of things.
Are we just going to ignore that?
Oh, can't do
Apparently
anything
so.
about it right now here on the road. I mean, unless you find a cleric. Hello. Are there any clerics about? No.
Well, just
I mean, there
enough
could
within
be.
earshot,
There's a
there could
load of
be.
people down there.
Well, yes. Well, when we get back, when we're done, like I say, I've been wearing it for weeks. It's not going to change in the next couple of hours, is it? So when we get back, I'll ask Solvik. Solvik might know someone.
You don't see any urgency to this situation.
Well, no,
right
like
now.
I said, I've been wearing it for weeks, and it's, obviously it's not fine, but it's not, it's not impairing me, so...
Yet.
Yes, it needs dealing with in time. But no,
So-
I don't feel a sense of urgency about it.
So obviously, just as a note for you, Stu, obviously that item is quite clearly not a ring of regeneration. For the time being, just change it in your inventory to cursed ring.
That cursed.
So,
Ring.
where did you get that ring from?
We got this. We got this in the tower, didn't we? Same place I found that broken longsword after we dealt with the ghost.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
No, I'm making it up as I go along. I can't remember where I found it.
It sounds plausible.
So you're confusing two different towers here, Stu. The broken longsword and the ghost were Starsong Tower at the very start of your journey. This ring was found in the icy vault at the top of the Pale Tower, the same place that Brother Amos was aged briefly.
Ah, yes, it was where we fought the Triffid thing.
I thought you didn't have a fun time in that tower then.
It was shit.
Did you get off scot-free then, Otto?
No, I didn't. Thanks to some people around.
Oh no.
Said, why don't you go in there and deal with that plant? That, what was it called? A fire lash.
Oh, wasn't I there for that?
No, that was a mandragora you're thinking of.
Man, that thing, yes.
Yes, Amos.
Don't look at me. I can't remember anything. I was old.
Quite.
My mind was shut.
I think we brought up some bad memories.
Your
Should
nose
we
is
just
back and
continue?
your ears will dance. Yes. Yes. No, nearly bit the bullet on that one.
Oh.
Again.
What do you mean again? Anyway, let's go to the bone grinder. Nothing bad can happen. Alwyn will pull his glove back on.
If there are any
Nothing
sentient
bad will
plants there,
happen.
I'm not fighting them.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
But why did you say that? Why did you have to say that?
Because, it's a question.
You just
I mean,
want to
nothing
jinx
bad can
the whole
happen.
day.
The camera pans out as you all walk kind of toward the horizon. Then a screen comes up saying 30 minutes later. The camera pans back to City of Whitethrone. Everything is on fire. You are running to your lives throughout the wilderness. No, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen.
Well, it doesn't just cut to back. and say the gang gets battered,
So-
and then the Sunny theme tune starts playing.
That's it. All right, yeah. So what's your plan then, folks? What you doing? Having decided that you don't need to worry about Alwyn's finger right at this moment. You think, you hope. What would you guys like to do?
Worry about his finger.
I don't know. That's very wise. But I think it would be a good idea if I find the Erascas first. So, they were on guard at the gate, so I'm assuming that they will be there on our way down. So, that is
What do they look like?
they look like people.
They had
Like
2 arms and a head.
people?
Yeah,
2 arms and a head.
I think they did, and they had mouths. They spoke to me, and I believe that they saw me, and they definitely had hands because I palmed them some money. So, yeah, I think they have all their limbs.
Both of them, because you did give me one of those platinum pieces back.
Yeah, they split it between the two. I'm sure.
Ah, right. Okay.
Mm.
We'll
I mean, the
make sure
platinum
to
pieces
mention
are big money. No, let me do the talking.
Okay.
Right. So you approach the bone grinder. Kind of as you get closer, you can see that this kind of steady stream of people. There are definitely people kind of coming to the bone grinder. You can see they're making their way around the various wooden shacks and stalls that are outside. This time seems to be manned by people, by sort of merchants and that sort of thing.
They have hands and heads, yeah.
They have hands and they have heads.
Yeah.
Okay. And mouths. Yes. And eyes.
Juicy.
Why?
That is an
That's definitely getting good. Definitely getting good.
33.19. There you go. I said it, so you don't forget.
Thank you.
almost killed Darren in the process. You're right there, mate.
After dark blooper reel, maybe.
That's it. 20 side after dark. Yeah, so
that clip's getting burnt.
yeah, so you see there are people kind of making their way around this sort of ramshackle market. They appear to be trading for, these same small sacks that you'd seen someone traveling with on their way back to the city. And kind of as you approach the gate, you recognise, well, certainly Della recognises, you see Sergeant Malin Araska once again on the gate. She seems to just be. It seems that whilst the market itself is open, she's just there, kind of watching out for trouble. People are passing by her without any sort of incident or anything like that.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna sort of like angle our way over to her side of where the people are. Be like, "Hey, Sarge."
That's Sergeant Araska to you. Ah, good morning, Miss Thornbury, wasn't it?
Yes. Hi, and this is my business partner, Alwyn.
Hello. I'm
Business
Bob.
partner. Alwyn Bob?
Yeah, Bob Alwyn, in fact. No, Alwyn's just my formal name. No, everybody calls me Bob.
Bob Alwyn, all right. That's a.
Yes,
That sounds
Bob.
good.
Sorry about that, Bob.
And you say this man's your business partner, Miss Thornbury.
Yes.
Excellent. Well,
Bob of the landfill.
Yes. And
Fine.
as we say, what happens in the landfill stays in the landfill. If you know
A
what I
quiet
mean.
slave.
Wow, good. A welcome to the Bone Grinder, sir. Miss Thornbury, I assume you're here for your business we discussed last night.
Yes.
Yes. So your business partner, is he here to shop around the meal market?
Yes, it's a good idea that we both get a look together.
Oh, you want him involved in the tour?
Oh yeah, I
thought
thought it would be fine.
Well, I'm not sure that's going to be all right. I'm afraid that's.
Yeah.
When you spoke to me last night, you had your servant with you. That one there. She motions towards brother Amos. Two of you, I can get in for a tour easily enough. But more than that, I'm afraid Lord Agorin's going to start asking questions.
That is fair.
So, is it a date?
What?
No. Yeah. So, well, I would say, Miss Thornbury, that you have a choice. You can take me and have my business expertise,
Or
yes, or you can take your servant come bodyguard with you. That sounds like the choice faced before us. And we can leave our servants here where I'm sure they wouldn't get into any trouble on their own.
If you choose to do that, sir, your servants are your responsibility. If they cause a disruption, that will be on your head.
Right, I recommend taking Brother Amos with you.
Okay.
I'll keep an eye
after Otto.
on Otto, yes.
Yeah, that might be wise.
Yeah, make sure he doesn't say anything inappropriate.
when have I ever?
Yes, so yes, my apologies, Mr. Bob Alwyn. I wish I could accommodate all of you as Miss Della's little entourage, but it's Lord Igorin's way. I'm afraid he wouldn't stand for it. Please feel free to browse the meal market if there's anything you're in the market for.
So there's lots of meals, presumably.
Oh yes, if you're just after meal straight from the mill, you want to head over to this stall over here. She turns behind her and indicates a small shack where there's a queue of folk waiting to get there. If you're looking for meal for construction, we have special construction packages over at that stall there. If you're after bread, meal enhanced bread, you want to join the queue over there. Just so you're aware, that does sell out very quickly. There may not be much left for this morning. And alternatively, if you're looking for a commemorative purchase, you will need to join that queue there at the front door, and Lord Agorin will see to you when he has time.
Right, that's the gift shop. Okay, and because I'm a connoisseur who knows exactly what meal is, of course, where would I find the freshest meal?
Well, it's all. Everything you can purchase is fresh from the mill. It would have been, mostly everything you purchase in today will have been processed last night.
Okay. Thank you. Come along, Otto. Wander off in the general direction, not heading towards any particular queue, just heading
One of little
general meandering.
Little wander around. Cool. All right then. Well, Miss Thornbury, if you're ready, I will lead you on inside now. Or if you need to converse with your associate first, by all means, let me know when you're ready. I'll be waiting right here for you.
Oh no, I'm fine. Lead on.
All right. This way, please.
Come on, Amos.
Okay.
All right. So you see, Sergeant Araska kind of turns on her heel. She calls over to her brother. Galen, cover for me, will you? We shouldn't be long. and she turns and she leads you towards the main doors of the windmill itself. So as you're kind of led towards these large oaken doors, you can see that there is a much smaller queue kind of on the right-hand side of the door as you approach. There are currently 3 individuals sort of waiting there. No indication as to how long they've been there, but they certainly seem to be just sort of patiently waiting on the right-hand side. And so Sergeant Araska says, "So yes, as you can see here, these fine citizens are queuing because they wish to make a commemorative purchase. One of the things that the Bone Grinder and Lord Agorin deals in addition to obviously processing the bones of White Throne's dead, is sometimes the families of those folk might wish to have a small sample of their bone in order to commemorate their death. This is something we do accommodate, but as I say, the Master of Bones does handle all those transactions personally. Outside the windmill itself, you've seen already a little bit. This is the meal market. I explained a bit to your colleague a second ago. This is where kind of any purchases and trading are done for the use of the populace of White Throne. Now, if you'd like to follow me inside, if I could just ask you just to wash your hands first, please. She produces a bucket of water, which has a couple of cloths inside it. Lord Agorin is a stickler for cleanliness and efficiency, so please, I must ask you to wash your hands before you step inside. She takes a cloth and she washes her own hands.
Della's not very happy about this, plainly, and she removes her gloves to wash her hands.
Okay.
Trying surreptitiously to not be obvious about that.
about the thing. Mm-hmm. In that case, Della, could I have a let's call it a thievery check?
Okey-dokey. 24.
24. Brother Amos, what is your perception DC?
Hold on, just put my glasses back on, I can't see. It's 10.
Oh, the irony.
It's a -4 on your perception score. So your perception DC is your perception score plus 10.
My perception score.
Yep, plus 10.
20.
20, okay. So Della, you are able to kind of wash your hands sort of quite quickly and get your your gloves back on without Brother Amos seeing a certain thing on the back of your hand. Brother Amos, you see nothing. You're kind of just taking in washing. You're taking in the sights ahead of you, and you're washing your own hands
for the last 5 minutes, Brother Amos has been thinking about something Otto just said and trying not to piss himself laughing. So he's not paying attention to much of anything.
Fair enough. Yeah. So a moment later, you've kind of finished. You've cleaned your hands as requested, and Sergeant Araska takes you toward the door. Thank you both. That's much appreciated. Right, this way, please. And I must ask you, please don't interfere with any of the workers who are currently at work on the line.
Oh, of course.
And she has a word with the Winter Guard, who is on watch, kind of outside the door itself. They sort of exchange a nod with each other. She steps past and she opens the door into the Bone Grinder. And as the two of you step inside and follow, you find yourselves in a vast space, a vast kind of open space. You can see the interior of the windmill is perhaps 60 feet on a side, and it is hollow, rising up what you assume to be almost the full length of the mill itself. You see, there's a number of steel columns that kind of split down the centre of the mill, which connect to giant cogs and gears high above you. That are clearly powering the blades themselves, or the other way around. That are clearly connected to the blades of the mill, and they extend downwards and they disappear through a hole in the floor beneath you. And kind of as you enter, you can hear the sound of kind of cogs and millstones grinding, but they sound muffled, as if they're kind of perhaps below you somewhere. And you see that kind of in this certainly on this floor of the bone grinder, you can see that there are numerous stations, kind of sort of small square rectangular workstations, which are all manned by many different people. You can see people all dressed in a uniform of kind of basically like a white jumpsuit with a cap covering hair and all that sort of thing. They appear to be wearing scarves across their faces, and you can see that in this area here there are many things being assembled. You see that there are bags of meal being measured out. You catch a smell of bread being baked off in one of the corners. You see construction sort of meal being mixed with brick dust and that sort of thing, and then fired to make blocks for building and that sort of thing. And around it all, you can see that there is around the outside of the wall, there is a narrow staircase, perhaps no more than five or six feet wide, that kind of winds around the outside. Around the inside of the tower, and makes its way up to quite a stout-looking oaken cabin, which is nestled about halfway up the tower itself. And as you enter, Sergeant Araska sort of says, "Yes. So as you see here, this is the main packing floor of the bone grinder. This is where our slaves and our workers pack the various goods that are created from the milling operation itself. This is where final assembly takes place before it heads out to the meal market to be sold or to otherwise be used."
It's very impressive.
It is quite something, I must confess. I find myself I'm very proud to work here. Lord Agorin, he can be a bit of a... She sort of glances around as she says this. He can be a bit of a hard ass, but he runs a tight ship. I've got to give him that.
Most bosses are.
Yes. Is there anything in particular up here that you're that you'd like to know more about, or would you like to continue the tour?
So what's that cabin up at the top?
That cabin, that is Lord Agorin's office. He spends most of his time there, takes his meals up there, sleeps up there, as far as I'm aware. From there, he has the capacity to basically to oversee the entire operation.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good spot for looking. So where does the stuff go underneath? It sounds like there's loads of cogs and stuff.
There is
where we are.
So obviously, what you're seeing here is just the top layer of the bone grinder. Below is where where the real hard work happens. Come on, let me show you. And she heads off to the left-hand wall, kind of from where you entered. She leads you both along, and as you get there, you see that there are two. There's kind of a split staircase that kind of leads down and underground. She says,
and as we're going along, can I just keep an eye out for I'm just naturally looking for other doors and something, like, you know, as we sort of walk through, if I notice a door somewhere, just to keep a note of it, or...
Sure, okay. In that case, let's have a perception roll, Della.
Yeah.
Amos can make one of ours if you like.
22.
22. 23. Okay. So as you're both kind of being led, you're kind of glancing around. You don't see any other doors leading off of this area. It certainly seems that this floor covers the entire kind of width and depth of the mill itself.
Okay. Yeah, down we go.
Down you go. All right. So as you start heading down the stairs, Sergeant Araska turns to you once again and says, "Yes. So down here is where the main grinding takes place. I must warn you. I must warn you of two things. Firstly, it can get very loud down here, so you may have to speak up so we can be heard. And also, just prepare yourselves for the smell a little bit. It's not it takes a little while getting used to." And she continues to lead you underground. As she does so, she gets to a set of double doors again, which she opens inwards. And as she steps in, as she opens the door, just a waft of all kinds of smells kind of washes across your nostrils. You smell, for lack of a better term, you get a strong smell of dust. You also get the sickly sweet smell of slightly rotting flesh, and mixed in with all that, there is kind of a bitter undercurrent of kind of just decay kind of wafting through as well. And as she leads you both underground, you find yourselves in once again a similarly large chamber, except this time instead of various packing stations, there are a number of sort of giant metal cogs that sit sort of 7 feet off the ground, and you can see that they are being wound manually by teams of people, sort of driving wooden wheels underneath them. Think the Wheel of Pain from Conan, that kind of thing. Where you're just driving these things around, and you kind of look off to the left, and you can see that there is an entire corner of this floor that seems to have been dedicated for the processing of corpses. You see bodies basically being taken apart piece by piece in a very methodical manner. There's very much a factory line going on here. You see, it starts off with a corpse being brought up from some storage area. First, you see that before anything else, all the bones are removed, which are then kind of sent off to be ground around various places. And what remains of the flesh is further sorted. You see the organs and brains and things are all separated out and appear to go to different places. One thing you don't notice immediately is what happens to the flesh. Once it reaches the end of its production line, it almost seems to disappear, or at least you don't see quite where it goes. Sergeant Araska says, "Yes. So this is the processing floor. It's very, as you can see, it's a bit grisly down here. But the people here are hardworking. They do good work, and we're the other day we are doing a service for White Throne in doing this. Please feel free to have a little wander around. Do keep your fingers out of the machinery, because if any limb loss is entirely your own liability."
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be definitely keeping my hands to myself.
So, as you're kind of wandering around this area, you can see that, there's a lot of people here who seem to be kind of working on the mill itself. You see a few Winter Guard around as well, like not a massive force. They certainly don't seem to be sort of slave driving these people or anything like that. They seem to. It seems like they're kind of wandering around more as just a precaution, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And as you're kind of walking around, you see on the far side from where you entered, you see that there is another set of double stairs that lead even further underground.
There's more?
Yes, there is more. So below this floor, we have the storage. We have the storage facilities, and we also have the we have our slave housing. All of our workers who live on site live below in the slave quarters. They take their meals there. They sleep there, and we change shifts three times a day, so that we don't work them to death or exhaust them or anything like that. And then below that, and you see that as Sergeant Araska says this, you see in her eyes a look of panic as she says this. Yes, and below that there is the bedrock, which is there is the bedrock which the city of Whitethorn stands on. Nothing else interesting below us.
The bedrock.
So I hope that's been satisfying for you. Have you got any questions, Miss Thornbury?
Amos, what do you think? You've seen everything. I value your opinion.
I think we've seen everything we need to see.
Okay. That was very interesting.
It's all right. I'm glad I could sate your curiosity, Miss Thornbury. Yes, if there is nothing else, I will escort you out.
Yeah, I think it would be quite nice to get some fresh air now.
I empathise with that entirely. And you see, she almost you almost get the sense that she's ushering you out, perhaps a little faster than she brought you down here. As she moves your way from the steps that lead down to the next level, you are led back. You are led back up to the packing floor of the bone grinder, and a moment later, you all find yourselves outside once again. And so yes, Miss Thornbury, I do hope that was productive for you, and perhaps if you wish to enter into a business arrangement with Lord Agorin, or if your family wishes that, let me know, and I can. He should be able to see you in 3 to 6 months.
Absolutely, that would be wonderful. I will keep that in mind. I should go find Bob Alwyn.
Yes,
see what they've been up to.
Yeah. All right. So, with that in mind, Bob Alwyn and Otto, what have you been up to whilst Ella's been inside with Amos?
Just generally wandering about, not really going in anywhere, not joining any lines, but walking from line to line and sort of peering and just soaking in the atmosphere of the place. But while, Alwyn's certainly been trying to educate himself. So the toe meal is connected to the foot meal, and the foot meal is connected to the ankle meal. And yes, so on.
Or it was before it came here.
Why do they? So, Otto, I mean, you're a very sort of learned man.
Yes.
Most wizardy people are. Why do they call it meal?
Do you know? I've never thought to ask. I mean, it is used as a fertilizer, so it could be a plant food.
Oh, so yes, food for the ground, sort of thing. Right. If it's such a good fertilizer, why are cemeteries not like, sprouting up lots and lots of? I mean, you get a bit of grass on some of them and the odd tree, but usually people have to bring their own flowers. So,
well, a well-tended cemetery, yes, but if a cemetery has been abandoned, you will see that it overgrows very quickly.
Ah, interesting. Yes. Okay.
You nourish the soil because you become worm food, and those worms will aerate the soil on their way to a feast on you.
Right. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And basically, the entire time has been spent, from Elwyn at least, with inane shit like that.
Okay.
What do you mean inane shit like that? That was very educational.
All right. So yeah. So a few minutes later, probably sort of about 20 minutes pass as Della and Amos are inside the bone grinder. After a short time passes, eventually you do see them come back out of the of the mill itself.
I'll wave.
Oh, hello. Yes.
Hello.
I'll come over. Oh, there's definitely something down there.
Nobody's around. So yes. Did you find out where the prisoners are kept?
Well, it's probably like right below everything. Well,
definitely.
So I'll go through a brief description of what we actually saw while we're there, so you get an idea.
I'm happy for you to just recant what I've told you for the sake of ease.
Blah, 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 blah. That was really good. But yeah, so then but when she was talking about the bedrock, there was just something there. I think she didn't want us to go down any further, so I reckon if there is anything there, it's going to be under there, if they're not already. And I'll point over to the meal cellars.
Like when the city guards say, there's nothing to see here, there's always something to see.
Yeah, but I didn't find another way to get in other than through the main doors.
Oh, that'll be certainly a way. And you mentioned this tower up in that's where Lord Agoraphobe lives, yes?
Yeah, the evil overlord of the bone grinder.
Yes. So do you think if we're forming a rescue plan, should we just go up there and kill him?
But
I'm up for that.
I mean, but we don't have any proof yet. It's just people that do a service.
That he's evil?
No, we don't. I mean, he does have a
They're
really weird way.
Bodies up and selling them for fuck's sake. How evil do you want to get?
But that's normal, isn't it?
That's a
you need to do
recycling
something.
process. People die. Do something
the
with the
only
body.
weird thing about him is where he wants to sit and look at his stuff. That's strange.
I just want to remind you that previously Alwyn has extolled the virtues of how good an idea that this place is. So,
but yes, I like efficiency, but to come up with it and do it in the first place, yes.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yes, it's evil. It's got to be evil, surely.
I'm not willing to.
You all
to call it
convinced
evil.
me. It's evil.
Mm-hmm. Did we?
Yes, I slept on what you said.
Well, I slept on what I said and completely forgot it.
No, I'm very impressed with this facility. It's very.
But it has the potential of hiding a lot of stuff. So I reckon some sort of.
Why don't we meet the chap?
We could do. we could definitely get an appointment in the next 3 to 6 months with my contact.
Oh, no, we were told there's a line that we can form and we get to meet him because he runs the gift shop.
But we would need to get a...
So just buy a pencil sharpener or something, I don't know.
I don't think he comes out to see if you've just bought a pencil sharpener. I think you have to buy one of those special things. Yeah, the what does she call it?
A commemorative purchase.
Yeah.
Just to refresh your memory. She said that Lord Agorin handles commemorative purchases himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we go in, we say I want to buy a pencil sharpener with the name, the bone grinder on it, and maybe one of those erasers with a picture of the windmill.
I don't think that's what they mean by commemorative, though.
You don't mean plates, do you?
I mean, maybe bone plates.
Tea towels.
Bone china.
Yeah.
It's bone china. That's what it... Anyway, but it doesn't really matter what the item is because we'll get to meet him that way.
Commemorative
we
tea
could talk
towels
about
for cleaning down sauna rooms.
Let's just... Yes. Let's... Tea towels. I need new tea towel. Yes. Let's go join the line. I will start wandering off towards the line.
Okay.
And I will follow as his dutiful slave.
Okay. So the four of you make your way over to this this small line outside the main doors of the bone grinder. You see that it has reduced now to just one person. And kind of as you stand there and sort of take up a position behind this person, just kind of waiting patiently. After a few minutes, after perhaps sort of 15-20 minutes of kind of standing there, you kind of start to shiver a bit as the cold wind bites through, and after sort of 20 minutes has passed, the double doors on the front of the mill open. And stepping out of the mill, you see there is an averagely tall human male. He has sort of a full head of deep jet black hair that kind of runs in very long a very long style all the way down the front of him. It cascades most of the way down his chest. He is clean shaven, and you see he has vibrant green eyes that almost glisten with a magical light. And in his right hand, you see he carries a staff that is made. Certainly seems to be made entirely of different bones that have been amalgamated together, and is topped with the top half. Or rather, with the faceplate of a human skull, and he looks at you before he looks at the group of people before him, and he says, "Yes, very well. Then who is next for a commemorative purchase?" And that is where we end for tonight, folks.
Okay, well, he looks evil.
He's a vampire.
Tales from the 20 Side is a Feagle Films production in association with Juicy Falls. Music by Nazar Ryback from hooksounds.com, editing by Stu Jackson. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram by searching Tales from the 20 Side or by visiting talesfromthe20side.com.
and we can check this while we were in the queue. Does anyone have any like magical ways of detecting evil?
Other than my nose.
Your nose is magical.
No.
I don't believe in evil.
I can smell evil.
No, we know Otto doesn't believe in evil because it's convenient. Yeah.
We are what we are, aren't we? And we're largely creatures of our own circumstances.
We are what we are, and what we are needs no explaining.
We do what we have to do. It is just a fob off. It is just a way of brushing things under the carpet to say, "Oh, he was evil." It's a way of not wanting to understand how someone became that way.
If you're brushing bodies under the carpet, no, that's evil.
No, it's not evil. There's a reason.
He's not
There's
brushing
a reason
them
for
under
everything.
the carpet. He's
Unless they're
grinding them
evil bodies, then it's good.
We will never agree.
I tell you what, I don't normally do dice rolls in the kind of post game chat, but just as a little Brucey bonus, let's have a society roll from everyone.
From everyone.
From everyone.
Oh! I get a -1 to this.
Hooray!
I got
Rolled a
7.
9 for 8.
I got 16.
26.
Ooh, Mr. Society.
I got 18.
18. All right. So Amos and Otto actually will know this. Kind of having had your ear to the ground a bit since you've been in White Throne, you will have picked up that Lord Agorin, the Master of Bones, is a cousin of Queen Elvana. So make of that what you will. In terms of his alignment.
Have you noticed how the two most antisocial members of the group are the ones who got the highest society rolls?
Is society like a socialness stat?
Is society a social thing? I mean, it's the
I
same
feel like
origin
that's
word.
a stupid question, but like I am a bit thick, so things do need to be explained to me sometimes.
I know a lot about society, which is precisely why I'm antisocial.
It's put you off.
But a bunch of bastards.
Society in game terms is kind of a measure of how streetwise you are.
Yeah. I know, I get it.
Yeah.
If you can't understand it, how can you manipulate it?
I'm disappointed that I rolled like that.
I was making a joke that would have worked better with charisma, I know.
Neil, you are not allowed to talk about juicy ever again.
I ruined you.